Hey folks, TheTurtleDork back again with another review. This week I have for you A Monster Calls, directed by J.A. Bayona, starring Felicity Jones, Sigourney Weaver, Toby, Kebbell, and introducing Louis MacDougall as the young boy, Connor, in the film. I have to say that this film emotionally blew me away. Now, this will be a spoiler-free review, saying that the movie has not been released wide theatrically, so I just kind of want to give you my overall thoughts and what my impressions of the movie were. So, A Monster Calls is about a boy named Connor who seeks out help from this tree monster to kind of help him deal and cope with this terminal illness that his mother is suffering, along with some other inner demons that Connor is also dealing with in his life, going through this ordeal with his mother as well. Everyone is bringing their A game in this film. Toby, Kebbell, Sigourney Weaver, and Felicity Jones, they all do magnificent work here. But this film rests on the shoulders of this young man, Louis MacDougall, playing Connor. There is not one scene in this movie that he is not in. That's the one thing that I came away from watching this movie, was how much this movie relies on this young boy. Everything is told from his point of view. Whether we're seeing an argument from his mother and father, or a conversation between his mother and his grandmother, we're always kind of peeking into those conversations because every single frame of this movie is told from his point of view. To put that kind of responsibility on a young actor like this in this movie is a huge ordeal, and I think that he really stepped up to the plate. We don't see a lot of movies like this where it has to be carried by a child actor. We've seen it previously with a lot of A-list actors, whether it be Tom Hanks or Will Smith or anyone of that nature. But for a film like this to really be carried by this young man, I thought it was just a remarkable feat to be able to see him do that. And within his performance, he has so many layers to his emotionality and what he's given to play against with a lot of the different actors, and that's something that we definitely need to see in this film. And he definitely has levels. There's levels to his performance, there's levels to his acting that serves this movie very well. And speaking to that point, the other actors in the film are referred to on their IMDb are referred to as mom, grandma, and dad. So that further drives home the point that this film really is about Connor and everything being seen through his eyes, and how he has to kind of deal with everything that's kind of coming at him at once. What I really appreciated about this film was how it dealt with those themes of pain and fear and loss and grief, and for this young boy Connor, dealing with the complexity of those emotions. It's interesting, as kids we're kind of taught that you feel one thing or another, or you look at life either this or that, like this is good, this is bad, or I feel happy or I feel sad. But the older that we get, we realize that life is not that cut and dry. And I think in this film, that's something they definitely explored with Connor as he's dealing with his mother going through this illness, because he has to deal with his own feelings when those feelings aren't as cut and dry, when he is feeling anger, when he's feeling that pain and that loss. So that's when the monster comes in to give Connor some guidance. He comes in to show him that because of your actions or because you feel a certain way doesn't make you a bad person. And he's pushing Connor to speak his truth. And by speaking his truth, he will find some kind of peace in his life. And I think that's the beautiful aspect of this story, is how we hold on to something for so long that at some point we have to learn to let go to ultimately find peace in our own life. This movie just hit all the right notes for me. From the performances to the visual aesthetic to the editing to the way the story was presented. For me, it just did everything right to take me on this emotional journey with the character of Connor. Coming out of the theater, I was really high on this movie. Sitting with it for a couple of days, it's been a movie that I have been thinking about over and over again, just for the sheer direction of this film by J.A. Bayona and his approach at telling this story from Connor's point of view. We've seen this before with this director in The Impossible with Tom Holland. So he does a great job with working with child actors, and he's done it again. I believe this kid, MacDougall, is going to be a name that we're going to hear about for years to come if he decides to make right choices in his career. But I thought he did a phenomenal job. So with a score, I would go probably an 8.5. It's definitely one of the better films that I've seen this year. And I'm actually happy to say that. So yeah, guys, that's my initial thought of the film. Hopefully you guys will be able to check it out. I know it comes out in limited release on the 23rd of December, and I think it should be wide sometime in January. So if you guys get a chance, I definitely encourage you guys to definitely check this one out. So that will do it for my initial review. Go ahead and check out my other dorks at MouthDork, at TheDiscoDork, and at Sidewalk Siren. And for me, I am TheTurtleDork, and with that, I'm out.